Alright guys, so here's a couple tools that you'll need to draft your patterns. You'll need a French curve ruler. You will need a yardstick, or you can use a foot-long ruler like I did. They work the same. You need push pins. You'll need two types of scissors, paper scissors and fabric scissors. You'll need a permanent marker. You will also need measurements. I'll show you how to take those measurements in just a couple moments. And then last but not least, you'll need pattern paper. You can use any type of paper you like as long as it's plain and you can write on it and cut it. Alright guys, so to create the skirt pattern, you'll need your waist measurements. You will need your hip measurements. Being careful not to hold too tight around the hips or the waist. And then you will need the waist to the desired length of the skirts. And then I like to get the waist to the end of the hip curve. Taking this measurement for the hip curve will create a beautiful pattern. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with our skirt pattern. I already cut out paper because this packaging paper rolls a lot and I didn't want to be rolling all over on camera. So to save some time, I went ahead and cut it beforehand. So what we're going to do is start on our center fold line, and we're going to go down 21 inches or however long you'd like your skirt to be. And being careful to make that line very straight. Alright, so then I'm going to draw the waistline straight across. It doesn't matter how long it is right now. Then I'm going to go down 6 inches because that's where the end of that hip curve stopped. Then I'm going to just draw another straight horizontal line. It doesn't matter how long it is. And then I'm going to go down to the hemline and draw another line. I'm going to label my points A, the hemline point B, point C for the hip, point D for the end of the waist, point E for the end of the hip line, and F. Okay, now once we have our main points labeled, what we're going to do is start measuring. So we know that our client's waist is 28 inches, so we're going to, that's when divided by 4, that is 7. Now what we're going to do is add a ½ inch for seam allowance, so we're going to stop that at 7.5. Her hips, the circumference of our client's hips are 39 inches. When divided by 4, 38 inches. When divided by 4, that's about 9.5 inches. But we're going to give about ½ inch for seam allowance, which is 10. So actually, we're going to stop there. Make that point. So we're going to extend our letter E over. Now for the hemline, I like my hem to taper in a bit, so we're going to go 9.5 inches right at point F. So what we can do is connect point D to point E with using our straight ruler, like so. And then we can use a longer ruler just to knock that out, and we're going to connect point E to point F. So now what we're going to do is add a waist curve, and we add the waist curve so that way the skirt sits very nice around on the top of the waist in the front. So we're just going to add about 1 centimeter, and we're going to label this point G. And we're going to connect point G to A. Then we're going to go up about ½ centimeter, which is perfect because I already made this, 2 centimeters, which is perfect because I already made this line, and this is going to be point H. So what we're going to do now is connect point G to H. So I'm going to do that by using our French ruler. I'm going to scoot this back a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. I like to curve that. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is connect point H to point E with our hip curve ruler, because we don't have diagonal shapes. So if we put this on, if we sew this way, it's going to be really funky looking. So what we want to do is just simply connect point H and E. Scoop this up. See how perfect that line looks? I'm sure you guys can see those. So we have G and H connected and H and E connected, with both using the hip curves. Let's go ahead and label our pattern. So we have the hip line, the waistline, and we have the hemline. Now this can always be extended. The bottom of the skirt can be extended, so keep in mind you can always make it longer or you can make it shorter. And then let's also go ahead and add our hemline, just so you guys can see. We can make the hem, let's say we make the hem about an inch. So go ahead and mark your line as reference for your pattern, and then we're going to write center fold, so that way we know that this line is our center fold, and cut on fold times 1. And there we have the front skirt pattern. Okay, so now we're going to get started with the back of the skirt. So what we're going to do is draw our vertical line again, but this time we're going to start here. Actually, let's start the vertical line here. On our previous pattern, we went down, so now it'll be 6.5 inches. So we're going to go down 6.5 inches. So actually we can just go ahead and make our marks like we did before. Make sure that's straight. And then we can make one more here. And again, just for the tutorial's sake, I'm going to label these points. So again, point A, Okay, so now the only thing that's going to be different is we're not doing the hip curve, so we've already started there. So that's actually just going to be a part of our measurements. So now what we're going to do is go over about 1 inch and a half, an inch and a half over. So we're going to take that line and go all the way down to our hemline. G, and label that H. So now we're just going to 7.5 here, mark our points again. So we have to extend this line again, wasn't long enough, so at 10 inches. So E is going to go out to here again. And then our length for here was about 9.5. So we're going to stop our hem cut right here. So again, we're just going to connect these dots. Okay, so now the only difference is that our front waist has a curve and it lines up with the back pattern perfectly. And then we added a zipper on the back pattern, so now I'm just going to label these. We'll label that back skirt, and we're going to cut that twice. And stay tuned for part 2 where we work on the bodice.